Do we?
We are back. We are back. 2 more Saturdays until it is a boatload of shit to talk about. But this is the SEC Live channel. Me and my dog Tegan, man, coming here, the host with the most, keeping you informed on everything SEC and nothing else. God bless the SEC and no conference else, because this is the best conference. Will always be the best conference. And come here to get some biased SEC talk. No, nothing better than the channel with some biased SEC talk, man. Tegan, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. Vibes are up. Kicking off the Monday really well. You had a good Sunday, good start to the week. And, you know, I'm at the point, man. I'm at the point where I'm reading fall camp. I'm reading all the camp intel I can find. The Kool-Aid is high. I'm just ready to watch some ball actually happen. I don't know if you have the opinion of, you know, it gets to a point with preseason where like I can watch week 1, but then after that, I just am like, I want to watch some real games. Like I'm going to forget half of these guys' names by the time we get to the 3rd week of the season. It's cool to see Shador play well. It's cool to see these rookies play well, but at the end of the day, you can be an all-star at preseason, but if you don't play well in the regular season, that's all people are going to remember. But I'm ready to see some college football, and we're about 11 days until the first game, week 0.
Yeah.
Now at least that though that's a Big 12 matchup, that'll be at least something to talk about. And by then we could do previews and real deep dives into the game. But I'm doing good, Bama. Long-winded
at this
answer,
point, Tegan, I don't even care, bro. I'll watch some MAC football right about now, bro.
Dude, I'm at the point where I've even done like on my channel to look into, is it even worth previewing Stanford versus Hawaii just for fun? That's at the point. I will say this is probably the fastest offseason. If there's anyone out there that wants to make content on sports, you know, I'll tell you this, it makes the months of no football go a little bit faster, but it also makes you want to talk about some real football. Because I'll tell you right now, Bama, you know this better than anyone. We're scraping for topics, but it doesn't mean we don't have a packed show today. So, Bama, what do you want to kick off?
Before we kick off, good thing that you brought up about the college football. The season is coming up. So I got something for our viewers right now just to get them ready for the season right now.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
It's a cool video.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. I've already placed a couple of my preseason bets. That's how you know the bug has gotten me, Bama. If I'm already loading up, I already have my parlay set for week 1 games.
Yeah, I was about to put one in right now too. Is that bad? Are we bad? Are we bad?
Let me, you know what, just before we dive into our first topic, I'll even throw it out there for the people. I do have Alabama beating Florida State by at least 13.5 points. I just think it's a really bad matchup when you have a front seven like Alabama. We've previewed this before, and I'm sure we'll go back around to talking about it again when we get closer to the season. I just think Alabama is a really tough matchup, regardless of the Thomas Castellanos things. But like, I just think all the reports, Bama, of Ty Simpson is sounding good. It wouldn't shock me in the next coming days that he's announced the starter. The wide receivers are as advertised. The offensive line's as advertised. The defense sounds fantastic. The other line I would say is under 48.5 for Texas and Ohio State. I just think Arch is going to do enough to win the game, but I'm not expecting a shootout there. And I also think Syracuse and Tennessee will be under 54.5. Syracuse breaking in a lot of new transfers, including a quarterback. Same will be for Tennessee. And Bama, this will be music to your ears. It sounds like Tennessee's offense is not looking good. It sounds like they haven't really decided who's going to be the quarterback. They've even blurred out quarterbacks who have thrown interceptions on their social media. It does not sound like Tennessee's offense is going to continue, or it wasn't even really good last year outside of Dylan Sampson. Looks like they're still going to struggle. So those are my three that I'm going with. But we can dive into something else. I can talk about bets all day, but this is an SEC channel at the end of the day.
Yeah. What you got for us, man?
Well, I think a good, I would say a fun story regarding one of the most polarizing figures in all of football, regardless of it being college or the NFL. John Gruden, following the drama that happened with the Raiders, and has basically been on a bunch of side quests outside of, suing the NFL, to which apparently he's going to have his day in court with, the commissioner of the NFL. He also has been going on tour talking with collegiate teams. He's get care packages. He'll speak to colleges. I mean, this is a Super Bowl winning head coach at the end of the day. And he goes to Georgia and he says, I'd kill to be in the SEC. I would do anything in my power to go to the SEC. And it would not shock me, and it sounds like the rumors are true, that he is trying to get back into the coaching space. In a hypothetical world, Bama, my first question to you before we even talk about, what teams is, do you think John Gruden would work in the SEC?
Yeah, I think he would. Hard-nosed coach. I think he is like the epitome of SEC football. Smash mouth, spider 2 wild banana. You better believe the fullback would be back if John Gruden was up in the SEC. His whole demeanor about him it oozes, SEC in a sense, but of course he's a professional football coach. He's had the most success in the NFL. The Raiders were looking up when, he was there. Sometimes, I just look at how he is with the QB camp, right? He tries to be relatable to the younger guys. So that's a plus. But at the same time, the standard is the standard. So that's what you're going to have when you're coaching a bunch of 17 to 22-year-olds. The only thing I would probably be worried about is in the day and age of the entitled athlete with the NIL and stuff. I feel like John Gruden really not going to take no shit. You're not going to be able to hold him hostage just because you make a certain amount of dollars. At this point of college football, I feel like it's more babysitting. I would want to know how much would he want to babysit versus just coach X's and O's and get them ready for the game in and out. So that's pretty much the same question marks with Bill Belichick. It's like, is he a good enough babysitter to be able to keep these guys and get the talent that you need to have a successful program?
Let me step in real quick, just because, I watch a ton of college football content. I don't really watch a ton of Netflix on my own time and, Peacock, whatever it be, Hulu. I watch a lot of college football content. And recently Josh Pate came back and after a month hiatus, and he was talking about some of the things he's heard. And the reason why I've mentioned all of this is because one of the biggest talking points to what you are saying, which is the babysitting, is apparently there's an epidemic around college football coaches and kids consistently being on their phones.
Right.
And just like Bama, I'm talking like QB battles where the guy is on his phone during meetings, not practices, but anything within the building. Everything has just been on this phone. You make a great point there. I wonder if it would be an oil and water situation where a guy coming from the professional level, it could be like both ways, where because he's tough-nosed, it's going to be good for the kids because they're going to grow up and they're more malleable, kind of like Chip Kelly going to the Eagles. It wasn't working because he tried to have that college style. Maybe it's a little bit easier to go from the pros back down to college. But I think the best question to ask if someone doesn't believe in John Gruden would be, what does John Gruden not have that wouldn't be successful, that like leads to success at the college level, if that makes sense? What is he missing? And my biggest question would be something that I was worried when I was a young college football fan, if Nick Saban had it, and he proved me wrong tenfold, was adaptability to the new college game with the offensive side of the ball. We saw like the 09 Bama teams were not the same as the 2021s and how they scored points. I'd be curious if John Gruden is able to change that as an offensive-minded head coach.
I couldn't agree more, man. Like, it's because it's just, I think he can be adaptable, but like I said, I don't feel like he has the patience for college football, if that makes sense. I don't want to be too nasty, but I just don't think he does. I could be wrong, but it's hard to really say. I think he just, to me, that's, you got Lane Kiffin, okay, you got Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, John Gruden's like my next favorite. So overall, my top 4 favorite coaches to me personally is Eddie Robertson from Grambling, Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, and John Gruden. No particular order, but those are the 4 guys I love the most. Just they hold everything,
Then my follow-up question for you is pick one team a realistic answer. One team that maybe you see a coach on his way out that you could imagine. Now, I truthfully believe that he's probably more than likely to take like a group of 5 job, almost what Lane did, right? Where he was at, where was Lane? It was in Florida.
FIU.
Was it not?
FAU.
It was FAU. Yeah. I could see the logo from the Final Four, but I couldn't remember the team. So assuming he maybe takes a group of 5 job and does like a prove it turnaround year, maybe 2 years, where could you imagine an SEC team wanting to take a swing? Because this is not a situation where I would say he's jumping, like if Vanderbilt became available, he's jumping at the gun for that. Like John Gruden being an older coach, he's going to be able to choose a little bit. What team do you think could be the one that ends up offering him and he accepts?
I'll probably say one of the newer SEC teams. I'm going to go Florida State.
You think Florida State by then is going to be an SEC team?
It's on the board for them. North Carolina, Florida State, North Carolina, I think is Virginia.
What about an SEC team that is
currently in the SEC?
Yeah. I can give you my answer if you want to think about it for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Arkansas. Because Sam Pittman's on his way out, I could see them jumping the group of 5 thing where they're like, we're going to just give John Gruden a chance. Remember, they were able to get I'm blanking on his name, the famous coach from Kentucky for basketball. Do you know who I'm talking about? It was the Kentucky head coach. Yeah, they got Calipari to go to Arkansas. Yeah. They got a ton of money. They're wanting to take swings. I could definitely see Arkansas being one of those teams that says we need, because I think you would agree to this. John Gruden getting hired to an SEC program would be the equivalent of like a Dion or a Belichick getting hired to like a dead in the water program. All of a sudden has juice and life to it.
The only thing that's tough for me, bro, I just can't really see them programs being in contention. Like,
But I think it could be different if he's at an SEC level program. Because Colorado's in the Big 12, North Carolina's in the ACC. I mean, at the end of the day, North Carolina is a specific case because they're always going to invest a ton into basketball. And then Colorado couldn't even afford Deion's salary when he first got there. I think it'd be a different situation with an SEC program.
well, yeah, you know the SEC has money. They got money from either oil, pig iron. It's a lot, you know, a lot of money in the SEC. So funding, he wouldn't have to worry about funding. It's just honestly going to a spot where you could succeed, though. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
I think maybe if Brian Kelly keeps coming up short, maybe LSU, maybe Auburn.
I could see LSU fans loving him. I could see LSU fans loving a John Gruden type. Like, to your point, the intensity would match the intensity of a Cajun fan.
I mean, I hate to even say it. Auburn would be a good school for him. Even Oklahoma, somewhere like that, because it has to be somewhere that's built on a type of foundation where if he goes there and implements his, you know, culture, I could see them, you know, being a threat down the road. So really though, man, LSU, I could really see that. Yeah.
Here's a good one too. This is the last one before we move on. Oklahoma. I could see Oklahoma getting a guy like Gruden because I feel like it's a culture fit. Because for a long time their identity has been Stoops. They went to Riley, who was not a physical team. They thought they were going to get a super physical team. Now, I think it could work out with Venables, right? But like, if they want to get back to like Oklahoma football, because like I know a lot of people's identity with Oklahoma is probably like the CD Lamb, Baker Mayfield, like the high flying offenses that you saw in the 2010s. But like, Bama, correct me if I'm wrong. Pre Lincoln Riley, it was smash mouth football. Adrian Peterson, maulers on the defense, heavy hitters. And sometimes I feel like we've talked about this before. There's just identities with football teams that at their best, you just see them win because they go back to their roots. I think like with Wisconsin football. What do you think of when I say Wisconsin football?
Biggest O-line in the fucking country, fullback, and a fucking unit at running back, bro. That's all I think about.
My point exactly. They strayed away from it. They've been doing transfer quarterbacks, and they have not been anywhere close since. Now, you may say that their, ceiling is capped at that, but sometimes that's their identity, and you just got to figure it out from there. But we can move forward, Bama. Do you think we should pull up the AP poll graphic potentially? I could try to see if I can pull it up. My first thing, while I do that, is talk to me about your thoughts, because it's no surprise to virtually anyone, your thoughts about the Texas Longhorns as well on the coaches poll being the number one team in the country.
Of course, you're only as good as your quarterback. So I could see why they got the buzz. Them and Penn State, just because they gagging their quarterbacks right now. Not really a fan of it, but I get it, right? I also think Texas is loaded in the roster spot.
Here, Brema, I got it.
Oh, okay. You want me to switch it out?
Yeah.
But Texas is loaded. I'm not really mad at it. They might have the best quarterback in the country. I got mixed feelings about it because Ohio State, I mean, they just won it. I don't know, bro. I'm not mad at it. Start that offense. I'm not really mad at it, bro. I'm not. I
I
like it. I can get with Texas being one. I can. There's a lot of pressure that come with that number one though. Like
they are the first number one since they've done this to be a underdog in their week one matchup. Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
Now I've also placed money that Texas wins that football game, which is something that we'll talk about. Stick around SEC Live every Monday. We'll talk about that game in detail when we get closer to it because it's a monumental matchup. It's a damn shame that the AP poll didn't just have Ohio State at 2, so we could have a 1 versus 2 matchup going into the season. But I like yourself. I'm not going to be upset that Texas is number 1, right? Like I really won't bat an eye. And truthfully, it's hard to get really upset about preseason poll. I will say this though, the thing that really bothers me on this is Alabama being at 8. And I'm not even you're a Bama guy. I may be speaking louder than you. Having Oregon in front of Alabama, having Georgia in front of Alabama, Notre Dame, I could maybe get talked into, but they lost a lot as well. I look at Alabama, you have the best offensive line in the country, elite weapons on the outside, a talented running back. People forget Ty Simpson's a former 5-star with an offensive-minded head coach, a great offensive coordinator that produced Michael Penix, who was not a super talented passer when he got to Washington and was able to develop him and into what we see him today. I'm not saying Ty Simpson's going to be that, but there's a developmental track record that proves that unless Ty Simpson all of a sudden starts throwing to the other jersey, I feel like he's going to be fine. And everything that has pointed at camp seems like he's going to be fine. And at the end of the day, they have 2 options behind him that I know that they love Austin Mack, and they also have Keelan Russell if they want to go for the young guy. The defense has NFL talent scattered everywhere, and the secondary is extremely talented with a lot of returning production. What isn't there to like in terms of Alabama, and you put them at 8?
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
This is what we need, bro. We got to get back to the days where we being disrespected, and they're gonna be hungry. I actually like it. Rest in peace his soul. My dad always say you never want to start number 1. You just want to end up number 1 at the end of the season because it's a lot of pressure and expectations that come with it. And I don't think Alabama lived up to the expectations they had of old, right? They kind of got to a space of complacency. Hopefully this wakes them up and makes them hungry to get back to the Alabama of old. I get it. Nick Saban's gone, but I feel like Debo's a good enough coach. This dude is a winner. I know he's not a Nick Saban, but shit, bro, he wins games. Like, I don't see why he can't be of that realm of coaches. If you ask me, I know I'm just probably being Bama biased, but I feel like he could cement his name in the realm of the Urban Meyers, Nick Sabans, in that tier of coaches. Will he probably be better than those guys? Probably not, but I feel like he could be like on the level of Kirby and those guys. You know what I mean? Sark, all those dudes. So, and if we compare those dudes, he easily could be the better coach out of Lane Kiffin, Sark, Kirby, all those guys right now. Brian Kelly, all of those. I don't even know if you want to say he's an elite coach. I don't even think he's an elite coach, but I think, Ryan Day, I think Debo could be right up there with those type of coaches. Because if you look at his track record, he only had 12 losses before he got to Alabama, over 120 some wins. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's a known winner. Everywhere he goes, he wins. He went to a D2, won a natty there, went on to Washington, turned them into a respectable program. I just think, this is just a time to show everybody who Alabama really is, man. Like, let them know we didn't even lose. Like, the only reason why I kind of feel some type of way, we didn't even lose anybody in the portal. Like, we added players, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, a lot of the freshmen we recruited are day one players. These guys are finna play. You know what I mean? So it's like it's weird to me. Like, you know, you got Dijon, you got Hulk Hill, you got a few guys that are day one, and these freshmen are about to get a lot of Rico Scott. A lot of these dudes is about to get a Lazier Brooks. Like, these dudes is about to get early playing time. So Debo and did what he had to do. Torn, I see you saying Bach. I love Bach. Bach probably ain't even finna play at receiver, bro. He might have to hit the portal. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Lazier Brooks, Rico Scott, them boys find the end zone.
Hey,
real dangerous over there. Like,
hey, I don't mean to cut you off, but I checked my phone. I got some news for you, man.
Yeah.
Hold up.
You know, we
as
knew
of
it,
10
man.
minutes ago. As
we
of
knew
10
it.
minutes ago.
Well, this was new. Hey, I knew this since what 2-3 weeks ago. Like, dude, I don't think y'all really understand, dog. I wake up, start editing for Player's Choice around 11:30, 12:30. I'm watching film from practice. Like, I fucking go there. Got an Alabama insider, but I just have to see what is going on with these guys. And all signs point to Ty Simpson, bro. Just how he commands the huddle, how he gets guys ready. He telling dudes, get over here. Hey, I want you to show. Like, once you start seeing stuff like that, like when he throws the ball and receiver catches some type of way, he instantly starts coaching. You know what I mean? He goes to coaching. Same thing what I saw from Quay Russo. Once these guys get to the realm of the coach don't have to say nothing, these guys start holding their teammates accountable in practice. That's when you know you found your captain and you found your leader. You know what I mean? Not saying that Keelan isn't more talented than him, because I'm pretty sure in the talent department, Keelan blows him out the waters. But it's a lot more comfortability from a guy that's a red shirt junior versus a freshman. A guy that's been there. A lot of these other guys have seen him there. A lot of people that talk about Ty Simpson, he should have won the job over Miro 2 years ago. I'm not even talking about last year, 2 years ago when Bryce was done. A lot of Alabama fans were saying they should go ahead and just start Ty Simpson over Jalen Milroe. But, you know, whatever happened with that. But just to see a guy, first one there, last one to leave, that's just something you need for your program. And I feel like with his skill set and even Keelan's skill set, we're going to see a very different Alabama football team this year, bro. Very different Alabama football team. I think the playbook is officially opened up. Our receivers are going to be a lot more happier. We're going to see probably the best, one comparable to the ride outs, because I ain't going to say these dudes are the ride outs, but they will be close based off of how Ryan Grubbs can draw plays up for him and get him the ball. This might be one of the more productive units we've seen in a while. I'm happy to see what Jam Miller does. Richard Young coming out that backfield. I really can't wait to see these dudes in action. Then we got a tight end. What is this? Dippy Air? I don't know, Dupree or something like that. I can't pronounce his name. From Maryland. Anyway, I think we got some pretty comparable tight ends too, man. I just feel like, you know, we'll see on the 30th, bro. Alabama will wake the world up, show them we ain't shit to play with, and we'll address disrespect accordingly. Week 1, FSU, you on the clock, bitch.
All right, Bama. Last thing before we get to your topics, and it's a quick, simple answer. From the SEC teams that have not made the college football playoff, which team do you think is the most likely to make their first college football playoff this season? If you had to pick one.
Ooh, that's tough. I'll probably go with I gotta go with the low hanging fruit, honestly. Florida, Texas A&M, and
Gotta pick one. Gotta pick one.
That's a tough one.
You got Florida, South Carolina, Texas A&M.
I'll probably just say based off schedule, I'll probably go Missouri. They got a cake schedule, bro.
They do? I've
If
also
the
been
committee,
shocked that
if the
they have-
committee stays how it is, because
Mm.
you remember how they just rewarded teams for having a good record. It wasn't even
They
strength
could be
of
the
schedule.
Indiana this year.
Yeah, Kurt Signetti, I can't stand him. He's so nasty.
Don't we can do a whole. I want there to be a segment on the show if they have a bad loss this year. Because here's the thing. There's nothing that we can say that's credible yet, except for what we believe in, which is some of the things he says is out of pocket. But I think it'll be a lot better if we wait and see because they have a much more difficult schedule. Missouri's not a bad pick. The thing that shocks me about him, I love Ahmad Hardy, by the way. Their tailback. He is a dog. I'm surprised that Bo Perbula was not named the starter. Apparently, they're having a real quarterback battle. Now, at the end of the day, their schedule is their schedule. Their schedule is what it is at the end of the day. But even then, I think you make a fair point. If I had to pick one, I'm going to be biased. I'm sipping all the Kool-Aid. I'm watching practice clips of Marcel Reed throwing deep balls over the middle of the field. Apparently, Bethel Roman is a wide receiver 3. Terry Bussey might be our fourth string wide receiver or fourth wide receiver in the depth chart. He's going to be more of a gadget like Debo Light. Everything points to the defensive line maker breaking the team. And honestly, when I posed this question, I started looking into the answers. Man, there's so many SEC teams that have made the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It is truly because you forget, like, yeah, Tennessee made it. They made it last year, like,
yeah,
and then you got Georgia, Bama, LSU, and you've had a ton of teams get really, really close. Florida being one that was super, super close. South Carolina, like the thing is, what scares me the most about South Carolina, Bama, as I've had a lot of like non-positive takes about South Carolina, is the fact that Lenore Sellers is just getting raved about his passing coming out of camp. And I'm sitting here going, did I just shoot myself in the foot by saying that they weren't going to be like, they're going to be 7-5, 8-4? Because at the end of the day, if he takes that jump where he's not KJ Jefferson, like you said, and he can pass the ball, bump all the problems that they have, it could be fixed with a crazy quarterback. It could be a Cam Newton situation.
like I said, he's gonna have to pass the ball more than 12 times a game. And then if he can't get over the hump, they got Aaron Nolan there. Y'all call me nasty, but I like Aaron Nolan more than Sellers. Sorry. But I'm not mad at Texas.
You're the nasty man.
I'm not mad at Texas A&M. No, they got Kevin Concepcion. That run game is still lethal. Y'all still got Owens. You still got Owens in them boys, right?
Facts.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that. Then I saw Marcel Reed throw one of the prettiest passes.
You saw that clip too?
Yeah, that was amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Step
That
up.
was amazing. That was beautiful.
It was the fact that he did the step up and just the Bama, you played quarterback, right?
Well, I played fullback, but I can throw the ball. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Four-time flag football champion, baby. 4-time now.
I've seen your highlights, and you know this. If you get rid when you're dropping back, that dip in your throwing motion, how quick, like if you can just grab the ball and get it out like that versus having to dip down, that ball gets out so quickly. And knowing that this offense is going to be quick, get the ball out. I don't think you need Marcel to throw it in the intermediate, dotted up like your Garrett Nussmeier or Ty. Like if you could just get the ball out to guys like Casey and Craver, that's 4 yards damn near every single time. And if you get rid of that, that is how deep in the trenches of the offseason that me and Bama are in, that I'm getting hyped about the dip in a throwing motion.
Bro,
if you don't think we watch
bro.
This stuff, if you don't think we do this for the love of the game, you are dead wrong.
Man, I'm watching Ty Simpson work out with randoms, bro. Like, I was like, yeah, dude, I need a fucking life, bro. Because if I am doing this, bro, like he is working out with randos, bro, and I'm just over analyzing everything, rewinding, looking at his follow through, everything. Like, dog, I'm ready for the 30th. The 30th can't get here fast enough, bro. Seriously, dog. But speaking of QBs, though, yeah, and hopefully you got some. If you don't, it's cool. But Twan requested last week. Like I said, if you want something for us to talk about these last 2 weeks, drop it down in the comments or either on the videos. We go back and review it. But Twan dropped off a question: SEC top 10 QBs of all time. And I was like, that's actually pretty good because, you know, there's some solid QBs that come through the SEC. And I'll try to do my best and rank them. So at number 10, I'll start off. I don't have the graphic for us, but it's okay. In fact, should I go ahead and try to do it? Let's see.
There's only one quarterback on here that you know for a fact I am itching to see where he is going to be. Now, I would say this, Bama, before you bring it up, I would give your criteria. Because you know people with college football, they're going to prefer peaks or careers or whatever arbitrary evaluation or criteria they want to do. But I want to hear what yours is as you bring it up.
I'm kind of an old head, so nostalgia plays a good bit into it. What did you do with what you had? National championship always helps too, but pretty much I cut some quarterbacks slack because of, you know, if you just somewhere where it just wasn't possible, but you bought buzz to that school, that holds a little weight to me. So hopefully that's like understandable to some people, but you know, it's my list, so you can take it or leave it.
Oh, trust me, you're going to get some feedback.
Oh yeah. Okay. For my number 10, it was hard for me to choose just one, but fuck it. We here. Jake Coker, Jared Lorenzen, Jake Cutler, and DJ Shockey. Like I said, those guys, Jake Coker, of course, he won the title. Wasn't, you know, talked about. He was at Florida State for 3 years, came for Alabama for 1 or 2. I think he had to sit out a year. That was back in the time where you had to sit out a year. But he put it all on the line for Alabama, bro. Couldn't be more proud of Jake the Snake, man. And then Jared Lorenzen is one of the guys I was telling you about. Big, fat-ass quarterback, bro, but he could throw that shit, bro. Like, RIP to Jared Lorenzen, man. That's all I can remember when I was a kid growing up. I was like, who the hell is number 22 at quarterback? He was throwing that shit all over the field.
22 bro. Is so nasty.
Nasty, bro. And then especially think about your quarterback, 300 pounds, bro. Like, it was
Rest
wild.
in peace. Rest in peace,
Rest in peace. He was a dog, bro. He was a dog to me growing up. And Jake Cutler, being at Vanderbilt, bro, him and Earl Bennett, bro, they went federal in the SEC together, bro. Throwing it all over the field. You almost forgot that they played for Vanderbilt. And DJ Shockey, bro, at Georgia, took him to the SEC championship. Kind of wet the bed a little bit because I think they was in contention to probably go to the Natty, but you know how it was back then. It was like that computer votes on it, so you can't mess up like that. But I like DJ Shockey. I remember those back in my time, back in my day, bro. Those were the quarterbacks, and that's gonna be my number 10 of those 4. It'll get a lot better
You don't got 4 names per.
No.
I don't got a problem with. I think Jake Coker is a stretch, but Jared Lorenzen.
Relax.
I know how you are. I know how you are,
baby.
I know it's all right, but talk to me about number 9.
Number 9, I think y'all like this one. Chris Lee. started of an era, beginning of an era, ran that spread with efficiency. I know they had a little politics with Tim Tebow, but I like Chris Leak. I like what he had did. He was a good passer to me, airing that ball all over the field. Kind of hate how his career dwindled out after Florida. Kind of confidence left him. Other little issues like that. But for me, he'll be my at my non-spot. Number 8. Let's see, keep it going.
I'll say this though, while you're pulling that up, Chris Leak, forgotten legend. I mean, they won a national title with him at quarterback, right?
Yeah. 06.
Yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of young people do not realize like the recruit that Tim Tebow was coming in. It is genuine. You know what's actually a really good comparison is if Quinn Ewers. Honestly, it reminds me of the Quinn Arch situation. Now, obviously, Quinn didn't win a national title. I mean, beating Bama was them basically winning the national title in their eyes. But the way that people talked about Chris Leak, like I don't think Quinn is that great of a quarterback, but like at the end of the day, he got Bama back and started their run, or he got Texas back. Sorry, he got Texas back and got their run. Basically, it reminds me a lot of that. Like, I don't think people remember the hype that was there with like Tim Tebow. I wasn't really there for it, but watch any documentary with Tim Tebow around that time. They will tell you 5-star, the hype was unreal. He was like the LeBron in terms of high school athletes.
Yeah, he was. I remember seeing Tim Tebow in high school. Nice High School came up and beat Hoover High School. Hoover High School was #1 school in the nation during the time. Tim Tebow came up there with number white boys, bro. Put belt to ass on Hoover. I couldn't fucking believe that shit, bro. He was unreal. Mr. Do It Myself, bro. Like Bo was hell, bro. Bo was hell, bro. Like I got to witness Bo live and direct, bro. Like dude was nothing short of magnificent. I ain't gonna lie to a lot of people, bro. He was hell, bro. You know, you could talk shit about him, the throwing motion, all that. We here to win games, bro. And when it came to winning games, you can't tell me you feel sick when Bo got that ball, bro. And you up by there, you know you losing, bro. Like, cause he's gonna do what it takes to get it in that fucking end zone, bro. When he's running over your linebacker, all of that, bro. Like leader, he was a leader of men, bro. Seriously, I'll go to war for him any day, bro. Biggest thing I can remember about Bo, bro, that national championship, bro. He come up in there, bro. He just butt through everybody, bro. Like, yeah, that shit bring chills just thinking about it, bro. Because I was like, that's who you want, bro. Like, that's who you want to play for, bro. Like, that is the epitome of a leader right there. Like, that's who I'll go to war with right there. Anytime he need me. Like, I'm there for him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Bo was hell. But to get back to this quarterback list, my number 8 slot, AJ McCarron, most winningest quarterback in Alabama history. We could argue I could have had him higher. I just feel like, you know, the other guys that's in front of him kind of had more of an ability to them. You know what I mean? Yep. Like they was just better athletes in a sense, and they also won too. Give or take a few of them, but like I said, they was just better players to me in my opinion. No scratch to AJ because you're top 10. You know what I mean? You're on the top 10 list. So you know, I'm gonna go AJ McCarron at my number 8 spot. I don't need to say it all. You know, he won, I think
great game manager.
Rings. Yeah,
all-time
he won
game
2
manager.
rings there. Yeah, all time, bro. So gotta go AJ McCarron. Number 7, Matt Stafford. Earlier days of Georgia football, highly touted NFL prospect, strong arm.
For good reason.
Yeah, great strong arm. Kind of helped get Georgia back to, you know, being able to recruit those guys. You know, Mark Richt really wasn't just that good of a coach to me, but I feel like with what they had, you know, I know granted they lost to Alabama or whatever, but I think Alabama just got their number. But I think Matt Stafford was pretty good at Georgia. Him, AJ Green, that shit went federal. Growing up, seeing that. Got him at my 7. Number 6, go Peyton Manning, man.
Peyton at 6.
Peyton at 6, bro. Yes. Peyton was
I don't
cool.
know if you're gonna. I'd be shocked if you end up getting 5 more quarterbacks through this, and there's not one that I could say. Do you think he was robbed of that Heisman?
Nah, I don't think so. Tennessee didn't win. Didn't win with him. But I mean, he was a good player. He lost to Charles Woodson, right?
Yep.
Charles
97.
Woodson. Yeah, Charles Woodson was the best defender in the NCAA that year. I don't think was Peyton the best quarterback in the NCAA? Best offensive player in general? No, he wasn't.
No,
better than
Randy.
Yeah, Randy was the best.
It was Randy, Ryan Leaf, Peyton, and him. Great documentary, by the way.
Ryan Leaf. Yeah, I don't even think Peyton was the best quarterback, right?
No, don't do that. No.
I'm nasty, baby. I'm nasty. You know that. You know I'm nasty.
That's because of that ugly orange you don't like.
You're right. But I mean, with my 4th quarterback, I'm not really hating on the orange, bro. I just, you just gotta call a spade, bro. But the next quarterback I'm gonna go with T. Martin, another Tennessee legend. The guy that actually won the national championship for Tennessee. For some odd reason, these toothless hicks out here don't give him no love, bro. Which is weird to me because I was like, bro, he won the SEC and the national championship for y'all. I feel like y'all should talk T. Martin up a lot more. Also, on top of that, look what he's did in the NFL. Lamar Jackson had historically one of his greatest seasons passing the ball ever. That's a lot of credit to T. Martin and Todd Monken, you know what I mean, coming in, helping the resurgence of Lamar Jackson. Weird that Tennessee didn't come there and let him be a coach, but, I'm going to give him his flowers where his flowers are due. Kids, I want you to go back and research that. Go look up T. Martin. Educate yourself. I know we don't hear these names a lot, but with these other guys, nostalgia can't beat them. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. Old heads could go out, fight, kicking and screaming. Nostalgia won't be able to beat these guys right here, man. So we'll start off from number 4. Johnny Football. Unless you was living up under a rock, listen here. Let the church say amen, bro. Money everywhere. It was sprinkling everywhere, bro. Man, was at Heat games, everything. Tegan can speak to this. I would rather let Tegan speak over here, but I remember Johnny Football. The one thing I remember with Johnny Football, though, that Duke game, he jumped over the offensive lineman, spunt back, threw the ball. He was unreal, bro. He was unreal. He was playing backyard football in the SEC. It was crazy. Remember against Arkansas where he ran in a full circle, bro. And then when he comes up out of it, he pump fakes, bro. He was unreal. He was unreal. Yeah, he was unreal.
Yeah, my only thing I'll say, because obviously being a Texas A&M fan, I will have infinite things to talk about the man that got me into college football. Well, I wanted to tell you, Bama, speak of AJ McCarron, he has a podcast with some guys, and he was telling a story that he had never seen Nick Saban get hyper fixated on a team or game or practice or prep. And it's not AJ McCarron didn't even see this himself because he does a podcast with some former Alabama staffers at that time. And the Alabama guy refers to it and he goes, on Nick Saban's computer, he would want on one tab what they were going to do that day, what was going to be the film, what was going to be the schedule, all on just one tab. And then the very next tab would be the all 22 for that 2012 game where A&M was wearing the all whiteouts. He said he had never seen him study a game more than that one. And you could say all you want about Texas A&M not winning a national championship, not even making a college football playoff, not You could say all you want, but that man was rage bait in a quarterback form. He was the most infuriating quarterback to face because it did not matter what exotic blitz you sent, unless your name was the LSU Tigers, who had his number, outright had his number. Anybody else could try all these different things, and he just made magic. He just made something out of nothing. And the one thing I'll say about Manziel that I will always say, because apparently it's a notion as we've gone further away from those 2012, 2013 seasons, he was not a Mike Evans merchant. Mike Evans, incredible player, was one of the best reasons why their offense was as good as they were. Do not forget the name.
Ron Swope.
I have his signature right here. Mr. Ryan Swope on the Anais Smith jersey right there. He was the go-to when everything got really tough.
Safety valve.
If you go watch the Alabama game, you are going to see more highlights of Ryan Swope than you will see of Mike Evans. Two tutties. Who cut the touchdown when the ball got bobbled up in the air? He caught it himself and flipped it back down. Who was the guy that came up screaming because he got clocked, I believe, by HaHa Clinton Dix at the time, got back up and started screaming? It was Ryan Swope. But I could talk about Manziel all day. Number 4, I could make the argument that Peyton was maybe a little bit better of a quarterback, but I won't make that argument because I'm going to be biased. Johnny Football at 4, I'm not mad about it.
I'm going Johnny Football over Peyton. I'm not going NFL prospect. College, Peyton was all right, bro. I mean, he had the tools to be a great NFL quarterback. Like, just because you okay in college don't mean that you don't have the tools to be a great NFL quarterback. And I think that's just what Peyton Manning was. He just wasn't he didn't do it for me in college. You know what I mean? It was cool. You know what I mean? You the pretty girl on the block, but it's like, whatever. These guys kind of did it better. Kind of popped off the screen to me in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Joe Burrow. Need I say the less? One of the more historical seasons we've ever seen. 60 touchdowns, I believe, which is fucking insane in 1 year. That's wild to even think about. But having those weapons he had, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to throw that many touchdowns. Because the guy that I have at 2, Tim Tebow. People bring up that Florida team. It was just the offense led by Percy Harvin. But let's just be honest. They weren't no fucking Jamar Jefferson and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Like, I sit there because a lot of people always try to roster tax Tim Tebow, but they don't roster tax Joe Burrow. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you kidding me right now? Do you not know? Like, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase both played for that team. Like, it wasn't like he was throwing the plumbers. And you had Terrence Marshall. Like, come on, dude. Like, that was probably one of the better receiving cores I've seen. He did what he needed to do. He put up a lot of stats with him. But Tim Tebow is my number 2. Because like we alluded to earlier in the show, Tim Tebow, you wanted to win a game, bro. That's the dude you need right there, Tim Tebow, bro. One of the more decorated college football players in college football. I think he won 2 Heismans, right? No, he won 1.
You won 1. I think he went to the finals for the second one.
Yeah. But Bo was the man to me, bro. Bo was the man. And without further ado, I mean,
I'm not about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was a hit man for hire. Tegan, he could have won at Texas State if he wanted to. If he would have went to Texas State, they would have played for a natty. Like, I feel like that roster, it was 5-7 the year before. The only key additions was Cam Newton and Nick Fairley. For them to end up in the national championship and beating it in a time where Chip Kelly was like the man in college football, that 7 seconds or less shit, the fact that they was able to beat those guys in that game with Cam Newton coming down from what? It was like 24-0, beating Alabama. Man, that might be the greatest season for any QB in the history of college football sports. So that's why he would have to be at my one, man. Cam Newton. I'm definitely not putting Joe Burrow over him, or putting Joe Burrow over Tim Tebow. Those dudes, just your 1 and 2s. Like, this was the reason Cam Newton had to go to JUCO. So the fact that he went to JUCO and then ended up, doing what he did, because his junior college team wasn't even that good. They was good when he was there, and they won the JUCO national championship. Blend. You can go look. I think they won they went like 6-60. I mean,
they're the feeder system for A&M.
Yeah. They was like 6-4 the year before, 5-5. Cam Newton gets there, they go undefeated, win the national championship. Following year, they fall off again. But yeah, Cam Newton, man, that's my number one. Probably should be number one until maybe Keelan or
Stop. Don't let the voices are talking again. The voices are out. Old man forgot to take his medication. Stop it, man.
Hey,
yeah, you a funny guy.
If Ty throw for 4,000, dude, like, I don't know. I know we probably left a few off this list. You could probably put Bryce on there or some of the other dudes, but
I'm surprised you didn't put. Wait, hold on. Bryce is one that I'm so. Hold on. What's the argument for Jake Coker over Bryce, Tua?
Yeah,
Tua's your boy.
Nostalgia, baby. Like, I feel like they still too fresh.
Now hold on. It's now clicking in my head. Let's see. I take Darren McFadden at quarterback over after Jake the Snake Coker.
You're dragging it, bro. You dragging it. Jake had 3,200 yards passing. What was it like?
By the way, are you only counting if they played in the SEC? You're not counting Texas or OU quarterbacks?
Nah, I would. Because I would do like Vince Young. I was gonna get nasty. I had thought about that, but I'm like, that's just too nasty.
I was about to say you're gonna have so many Oklahoma quarterbaks to talk about.
Yeah. Kyler Murray, Baker, like, yeah, I thought about it when I was making the list. I did think about it, but I was like, I'm gonna, because that's gonna get real freaky. So it's like, I'm just older guys. You know what I mean? Like, my SEC list was just to try to give you a little bit of, nostalgia. What about these guys? Because these guys were forgotten about. Like Jared Lorenzen, like forgotten about.
There's a Florida quarterback that also won Heisman too. I forget.
Well, he was close. Rex Grossman?
No, it wasn't Grossman. It was
Danny Warfel.
Yeah. Warfel would have been one. Now I'm getting mad. Stetson Bennett, by your criteria, Jake the Snake Coker. Yeah. Bennett should be.
You could put Stats in there. You could put Stats in there. I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with Stats. You see him yesterday? What was that, yesterday?
Yeah.
Day before yesterday.
Hey man, the 4 games from Kenny Hill. Talk to me.
Oh man, Kenny Trill, bro. Like,
Kenny Trill.
Gosh, bro. That's
a top 10 peak of all time. Dak Prescott is one that I think gets forgotten.
Yeah, so if we talking about peaks though, if we talking about just peaking, like nothing involved, we talking about peaking. Now that's when you get into the Bo Wallaces, the Dak Prescotts, the Kenny Trills.
Hey, there's some
Blake
Ole Miss
Sims.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, Blake Sims. Now that's where you get into those guys. But I just feel like overall body of work.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Jake Coker, he needs real respect, dude. Like, he was from Alabama. He really put the team on his back, bro. Like, he refused to lose, bro. Like, I got a lot of respect.
Bama, call a spade. You just wanted to talk about Jake Coker.
I did, bro. I just want, like, Jake, if you hearing this, bro, I'm thinking about you, bro. I hope you having a good life. Come on the show, bro. Like, I hope life being good to you, bro, because I remember you, bro, vividly. Darius Stewart, Calvin Ridley, OJ Howard, Derrick Henry, bro. You did what you had to do, bro. Like that Auburn game, bro. Like, I appreciate you, bro. Like, you put your heart on your sleeve that game, bro. And I couldn't have been any more happier being an Alabama fan watching you put that on display, bro. He took care of the ball. Like, he embodied the saving mentality, bro. And don't forget, he was like 6'5", 6'6", 230. He wasn't little either. Like, I fuck with Big Bo, man. I mean, like I'm yeah, for sure. Jake the Snake, man. Yeah, dog. That's another
That's it.
episode, man.
That's it for us, Bama. We're all done.
Yeah.
All right.
Until we back in the week. SEC Live, y'all. We'll be back, man. If you know, you know. If you know, I got that.
End the stream. End the stream. I can't do it. I can't deal with you right now.